Right.
This is a really good position that's easy to do, that works on getting a little bit more upright posture. I use this a lot for my patients who are rounded forward. I also use it for some of the individuals that have with scoliosis to work on their breathing strategies. But just as a general concept, right? I want to get close to a wall, and I want my hands on the wall, right? And I want to try and take my hands as far up the wall as I can. Short of any shoulder pain, back pain, I'm just trying to get my body a little bit more erect, given that I spend the majority of my day probably more like this. So climbing up a wall. Okay, now in this position, I want to work on first controlled breathing. And instead of trying to breathe through my upper chest, I want to see if I can get that breathing to happen more lower into my rib cage and into my diaphragm. So I try and focus my attention on keeping my shoulders still, even maybe pulling them down just a little so my elbows aren't flared out this way, but they kind of sag in a little bit towards the wall. And I want to see if I can start off taking normal breaths without my shoulders moving. So as I breathe, I'm trying to inhale and exhale. Ideally in through the nose and out through the mouth. And to start, I do normal breaths and then try and take maybe 3 to 4 deeper breaths, and seeing as I take that deeper breath, can I keep the breathing down here and not let it start to go into more of this hiking of my shoulders up towards my ears. So I really want to try and make sure my shoulders are relaxed, my neck is relaxed, all the breathing is coming more into my lower abdomen. Too many deep breaths in a row is going to make you lightheaded, so typically I only do 3 to 4 deep breaths, and then maybe I'll take 10 to 20 seconds where I'm just here breathing normally. And maybe as I'm here and if I feel okay, I'll start to use my fingers to climb up that wall a little further, or if I need to, I can take my feet a little closer, which also makes me a little bit more erect. I just want to watch. I'm not getting pain on the top of my shoulders. My head is not falling towards the wall, so I'm kind of keeping my chin a little bit close to my throat. And this is just a position for some of those people who have a really hard time standing or being upright, where the wall is giving them support to get a little bit more vertical. So this is a great place to start for someone who is really falling forward, where they have support, and they don't have to go all the way up here. They may start here with just their hands. So even still, this gets me a little bit more upright than I would be if I were standing in this rounded forward posture. So whatever position works best, that's less uncomfortable, but you can stand in for a longer period of time. I'd rather you be here for 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 minutes versus here for 10 to 15 seconds and your shoulder hurt and your low back hurts and it's too much, right? So gradually starting here, if you're able to work your way up, spending some time in this position with breathing, and then sometimes I even throw in, because as the arms come up, the back may want to cave. So breathing, I may have them just do while they're doing their normal breathing, trying to think about a little bit of a tuck of the pelvis. Because it's very common that limitations in the shoulders or the mid-back start to feed into this adopted posture. So here I'll also think about, can I keep my arms pasted against the wall and just very lightly pull my hips under me. The further back I am away from the wall, typically the easier this is, especially if someone's tight in front of their hips or thighs. So if someone's really having a hard time, I may even start them at the counter instead of the wall, or have them step further back and see if they can do this, and then maybe see if they can maintain this while they're doing some of their deep breathing. Just for clarification, I'm not tensing really hard to do this, right? It's just an awareness of the way my body's positioned. So I'm just trying to see, can I pull my hips under me without a lot of effort? I'm not really tensing, I'm not really rounding. It's just, can I take myself out of this sway back and lightly bring my butt underneath me as I'm going through any amount of this drill at the wall?